This is Chuck Thompson. It's my pleasure to be talking with one of baseball's truly outstanding left-handers, Warren Spahn. The magic figure for pitchers has always been winning 20 games, and you hold the major league record for having accomplished this feat 12 times. And most pitchers have trouble doing it even once. Ability, of course, has a lot to do with it, but is there anything else that should come into winning 20 games?
Well, I think over my baseball career, I've been fortunate enough to play with pretty good ball clubs. For an example, I think we've been out of the money twice in the time that I played in the major leagues. This has to be a contributing factor. Secondly, I think that I've been able to get the ball over the plate and make the hitter hit it. After all, hitters get themselves out occasionally. So that if you're able to have endurance to go 9 innings and you're able to get the ball over the plate with something on it, I think you're able to be in those ball games, and maybe the fact that I've been able to help myself a little bit with the bat might help me stay in ball games.
Warren, you pitched 2 no-hitters. How much luck is involved in a no-hit, no-run game?
Chuck, there's a lot of luck in it. I know pitches. I don't think you ever pitch a ball game where you pitch the perfect game. You make mistakes, is what I'm trying to say. If the hitter takes advantage of those mistakes, why, then there are base hits involved and maybe even the ball game. If the hitter gets himself out on those pitches, or maybe swings and fouls that pitch off, maybe you come back and make a good one. So that there's a great deal of luck involved in it. You're at the mercy of the 8 guys in your ball club, that they have to play their game well, and if all these things come out, then you pitch a no-hitter.
What would you say has been your bread and butter pitch, the one you always fall back on in a clutch down through the years?
Well, Chuck, I don't think that you can pinpoint it to any one pitch. I've liked to feel that I'm a better pitcher now than when I was a youngster, when I could throw hard, for the simple reason that I can pitch a different pattern, or I can pitch a different ball game depending on what material or equipment I have this particular day. If the fastball is good, then I rely on control in the fastball. If I'm not quite so fast, then I have to depend on breaking stuff, but I think the whole thing boils down to control.
What would you say, what pitch is necessary for a youngster to master, Warren, before he begins to fool around with things like sliders and sinkers and screwballs or knuckleballs?
Chuck, a youngster, if he learns a pitch, I don't think he's mastered that pitch until he can control it. This goes for the fastball, the curveball, the change of pace. I think these are the 3 essentials of pitching. And I don't believe that if a young fellow should fool around with anything else until he masters those 3 pitches. And if he does that, he'll be a pretty good pitcher.
On the subject of throwing a curveball, Warren, how young would you allow a youngster of yours to begin trying to throw a curveball? At what age would you give him an okay?
Chuck, I have a son that's 13 years old, and I've tried to teach him the rudiments of turning the ball over like a curveball or a slider from the time he was able to throw the ball. Now, I think the size of his hands has a great deal to do with it. But the arm movement and getting his arm coordinated or ready to throw the curveball, I think any age can be the age to start it. I know a lot of people advocate that you shouldn't try it until you're, well, say 14 or 15 years old. But I don't go along with this. I think that, for an example, in spring training, I come out the first day and I try to throw the fastball, the slider, the curveball to get all the muscles in my arm in shape. And this is what I feel about a youngster. After all, they don't get the stiffness that we do, Chuck.
How true. Warren, you've probably won more awards than any other pitcher in the game of baseball today. Which one would you say has meant the most to you?
Well, undoubtedly, talking about awards, I would say that the Cy Young Award that I won, I think it was 1957, is the thing I pride most, because this designates the best pitcher in baseball for that year. Not only your league, but the best pitcher out of the 200 or 300 or whatever it might be pitchers in baseball.
Warren Spahn, thank you very much.
Okay, Chuck, nice being with you.